Hi, welcome to the Pink Moon Tarot. I'm Nikki, the Pink Moon Tarotist, and today I am bringing you my new series called Spill the Tea with Nikki. And this is a series that is designed to debunk, demystify, and just answer any questions that people may have on tarot, witchcraft, law of attraction and spirituality. So if you have any questions on any of those subjects that you would like answered, then do drop me a comment in the comment box below and I will endeavour to answer them for you. So the whole spill the tea thing, as you've probably heard that statement before, it refers to gossip usually. And this is not so much gossip as debunking the gossip, you know. So that was my intention behind it. The reason I called it Spill the Tea kind of went to a nod to my grandmother and her love of tea and teacups. And I just thought I'd show you very quickly one of the teacups that I'll be using, which is this one. It's absolutely gorgeous. This teacup is 70, maybe even 80 years old. It's bone china. Isn't the inside stunning? Look at that. My grandmother was given this on her first wedding anniversary by my grandpa. He bought it from Marks and Spencer's, good old fashioned Marks and Spencer's back in the day. And it is currently an incomplete set because my grandpa was a working man. He was a mechanic and he was a gardener, and he had big rough hands, and these are very dainty little cups, and they are bone china, as I say, so very fragile, although they've lasted awfully well. But I now have 5 cups instead of the original 6 because my grandpa did break one, bless his heart. But I love this particular set because my grandmother used this every single day. From the day she got it, it was her everyday set. She never drank out of a mug. She always used a teacup and saucer. And whenever we went to visit, we would always get our tea in one of these cups, unless it was a special occasion. Then we might have had one of the other ones that you can see on the Welsh dresser behind me. But this was the one that I associate the most with her. So I thought it was appropriate to start my series of Spill the Tea with this particular one. And I just wanted to share that with you, really. And let me show you as well the little milk jug that I have. It's so cute. My nan always had tea with lemon in it, but I have tea with milk. So I'm very grateful that she had the little milk jug. And I bought myself a little cute teapot with Alice in Wonderland on it. Because obviously, you know, the Mad Hatter's Tea Party. I do love Alice in Wonderland. It's one of my favourite books from childhood. And I saw that, fell in love with it and had to have it. So there we go. So that's what I will be using to make my tea today. So without further ado, let's get into what today's topic is. Now I'm starting off with tarot, as I am after all a tarot channel. It just made sense to start with that one. And the first one I thought I would address is the myth that tarot cards are evil. Now this one does make me chuckle. It's one of my my kind of favorite misconceptions, if you like, because it is something that gets spouted out quite often by people that don't understand tarot, and they'll say, oh, tarot cards are evil, they bring in the devil, they are, you know, they connect with evil spirits and things like that. And it does make me laugh because at the end of the day, a tarot card is just simply a piece of paper and ink. You know, that's it. It's not anything bizarre. It's not made of, you know, of the skin of babies or something horrendous like that. It is simply made of ink and paper. And even back in the day, it was still made of ink and paper. You know, even if they were handmade, they were still made from paper. They were not made of anything evil and terrible, you know. It's like saying that a book is evil. And it's not. It would be, and my cat is joining in, he's agreeing. It would be the actual contents of the book that people would find disturbing. And I think that's the case as well with tarot cards. Tarot cards can feel a little bit disturbing when you look at certain images. So I will grant them that. I will grant them that. So if, for example, you take my first ever tarot deck, which was this one. I don't know how old this tarot deck is. I have no idea. It was my great-grandmother's. But if you look at the image of, say, the devil there, it's French, by the way, which is why it doesn't say devil down there, and death, yeah, they're pretty disturbing. But then you have the star, and, you know, it's a lot more gentle. It's a lot more pretty. And the world, again, it's a bit prettier. But these aren't particularly pretty cards. You know, the images are quite kind of medieval, I suppose, in their design, and not particularly attractive. And I can certainly see with certain cards like these ones how people find tarot cards to be evil. And even the traditional Rider-Waite, again, the cards aren't particularly pretty, and a lot of the modern decks are based off of the Rider-Waite. And you have, you know, the devil there, and you have death there. Yes, I did organize these before so I could show you. And the Ten of Swords looks pretty gruesome as well. And so does the Three of Swords, you know. But the rest of the deck, it's, you know, it's standard images. They're not particularly stunning. They're not particularly light. And I can see how people would associate those images with something that is evil. And then you go to the Thoth Tarot deck, which a lot of people have issues with. I'm not quite sure why. Poor Aleister Crowley did get a bit of a bad rep, bless him. But I think the Thoth Tarot deck has really beautiful images. You know, I think it's absolutely stunning. And I'm not quite sure why this one gets such a bad reputation and is thought of as being so evil. I think it has more to do with the geometry that's used in these, and the symbolism, the numbers, and all that palaver. You know, people associate with satanic symbols, which is another thing. Tarot is not a satanic thing. It is not something that is connected to the devil. It is not something that is connected to evil spirits. You know, a tarot reader doesn't tap into the bad side, the underworld, or the bad spirit realms when they read tarot, unless they want to. But that's a whole other ball game. And as I say, the cards themselves, you know, it's just ink and paper. How can something that is just mass produced like this be evil? Even the ones hundreds of years ago, and tarot has been around for hundreds of years, even the ones hundreds of years ago that were a lot more difficult to come by because they were usually handmade and were not produced en masse, and so they were passed on from generation to generation. But the reason that tarot got such a bad rep in the first place, I think, has more to do with its associations. And the associations come from, it's used by mystics, it's used by seers, it's used by witches. And these are people that have been persecuted throughout history because organized religion feared them. They feared people that they couldn't control. And these seers and mystics, they could not control. And they had powers and knowledge and understanding that they did not understand themselves. And so when they saw that tarot was a tool that was used by these people, it became an evil tool. Sorry, my little cat has just spotted a robin flying around outside. So, you know, it's not the cards themselves. However, that's not to say that every tarot reader is pure as driven snow. You know, there are good people and there are bad people in every walk of life. And there are good tarot readers and there are not so good tarot readers, or even bad tarot readers. You know, the intention that the tarot reader themselves has is massively impactful upon the tarot deck itself, because we imprint an energy onto our tarot deck, and that energy sits in the cards and becomes part of the reading. Because, you know, the cards are energy. You know, everything in this world is energy. Me, my cat, my Welsh dresser behind me, the teacup that I've just shown you, everything is made of energy, and we can imprint our energy into our tarot decks, and that's what we do by using them and by connecting with them, and that's how they become effective. Now, if your energy is not a good energy yourself, if you're not a good person yourself, then of course the energy that you imprint onto that tarot deck is not going to be a good energy, and you are not going to give good readings, because that's not your intention. But intention is everything, and that's an important factor to remember. And sorry, I'm just going to bring up very quickly. Yeah. So sorry, I was just bringing up the actual blog, because I wrote the blog and put it onto my website. So you can always go and check out the written version if you want to, which delves into evil as a concept as well here. A little bit, touches on it a little bit. I don't go too much into the theology behind it. But yeah, so your tarot cards are an extension of you as a person. So the whole idea that a piece of paper with printing on it can be something that is evil is really bizarre to me, you know, how people can think that. But I do understand where it comes from, and it comes from a place of fear, of misunderstanding. And, you know, not all tarot cards are created equal either. Some tarot cards are a lot prettier than others. We have Colette Baron Reid's tarot deck here, which is absolutely gorgeous. You know, the images in this are just so light and so pretty, and they do hold slightly different meanings to regular tarot decks. You know, but this is just... They're a lot lighter and a lot more gentle than maybe, you know, the traditional Rider-Waite ones. And I immediately pick up the Nine of Swords, which is not a very pleasant card. But, you know, it's all about choosing something that speaks to you as a person. And if a tarot reader is using a deck that you don't like, that you don't feel connected to, and you're having a private reading with them, you can always ask that tarot reader to change the deck. You know, if you're sort of feeling uncomfortable about it, ask them to change it. I use this one, the Lightseer's Tarot, most often for my private readings, because it is beautiful, it is light, it is stunning, and there is nothing dark. There's no dark energy in this deck at all in the pictures. But even so, you know, they do carry the same meaning. And it's like if you have a book, okay, and it is a book about something that you don't like, something that you're uncomfortable with, for centuries, books have been burned as well. Let's not forget that. And, people would say that the book was evil. Now, again, the book itself was not evil. The contents of the book may have been something that was vehemently disagreed with by the authorities. And so therefore they wanted it banished. They wanted it got rid of. So they burned it. So they labeled it as evil. The author themselves may have been labeled as evil, as a bad person. But the book itself, the actual printed copy of a book, held no evil energy. It was just ink and paper. And that's what I'm trying to say with these things. They're just ink and paper. And if there is any evil, if there is any, give me a mookie. If there is any misconception, I'm just going to try and get him over, but he doesn't want to come. Then it comes from the reader. It doesn't come from the cards themselves. The cards themselves hold no evil energy unless it has been imprinted on them by the tarot reader themselves. And here's the thing, with tarot cards, you can cleanse them. There is no difficulty in cleansing tarot cards. You can smoke cleanse them, you can put them under the moonlight, you can use various different rituals. You can simply knock out the energy that's contained within them. So when they first come to you, it's always a good idea to cleanse them because they have been handled by people that have made them, that have printed them, that have packaged them, that have sold them. They've been handled by lots of people. So it's always a good idea to cleanse them to make sure that the energy is neutral when you start working with them. But your energy is what is imprinted into these decks. And my energy is in my decks, and my energy is positive energy. It is good energy. It is energy of wanting to help, wanting to uplift, wanting to give good readings, wanting to show people the things that are happening in their life in a positive light, and be able to connect in a positive way with my guides, with my spirit guides, my guardian angels. And there is no intention when I pick up a tarot deck and start a reading to connect with any evil or harmful spirits. So it doesn't happen. That's just what happens with me. Okay? So all in all, tarot cards themselves are not evil. People, on the other hand, can be. And we shouldn't mix the two up. Don't blame the cards for something that has been misconstrued over time through various different religions, being scared of the people that used them as a tool of divination. And don't misunderstand the intention behind tarot cards. They have always had the intention of helping people to navigate situations in their life. They have never had the intention behind them to connect with the devil, to connect with evil spirits, or to bring any kind of damnation or anything awful into the world. That has never been the intention of tarot cards. And, they may have been used hundreds of years ago to connect with loved ones that have passed on. But as I say, it was loved ones that had passed on. It wasn't about connecting with evil people or evil spirits or the devil. And thank you, Moki. And so as I say, the cards, are they evil? No, they're not. Pick your tarot reader wisely and you won't go far wrong. The cards are just a tool, and when used correctly, they can be a very good tool and they can be used for good. Okay, I'm going to stop babbling on now, but until next time, please do remember to like, share and subscribe to my channel, and I will be back next week with another edition of Spill the Tea. I don't know which one I'm going to do yet, but if there is anything you would like me to debunk, demystify, or answer your questions about, then do drop me a comment in the comment box below. But until next time, have a wonderful day. Namaste.